Another chat here from Connor. Can we get some letter grades for the Zary, Coronado, Bahl, Frost, Wolf extensions? Okay, sure. Let me just pull them up so I have them. Because apologies, I don't have them memorized, but I am going to just to be sure. Let's find them here. Letter grades for the extensions. All right. Well, we'll start with the one that I know off the top of my head. With Dustin Wolf. Boy, it gets dark when I go to a website that has a bit more black on it. Hey. The Dustin Wolf extension. If we're doing grades on Calgary Flames contracts that they've handed out, I think this is honestly. This is going to seem like I'm an easy grader. I think it's an A plus. I don't know where the downside is. If he is it just gone, right? Like $7.75 million a season all of a sudden turns him into Plaxico Burress, and he is just all the way out of it. I still think at that money, with the team where they're at right now, it's not going to hurt him. The salary cap is going up. And like I said before, if this contract does start to become a problem, I think he has shown enough of a track record that if the only thing you can do is get rid of this kid, there's still going to be a team that will be desperate enough trying to come out of a rebuild that's like, hey, this guy has the pedigree. We can fix this. Let's go. And you can still at least get out of it and try to save it. So I think everywhere you look with this contract, it just makes all the sense in the world. And I think even the worst case feels like it's something you can get out of. So honestly, genuinely, A plus. I don't see a downside to this thing at all. The only way you could have made this better for the Flames is if it was wildly unfair for the player, 8 years at league minimum. But in terms of what could rationally be done, perfect, 10 out of 10. No notes. The Zary contract extension. It was 3 years at 3.78. Takes him up to 1 year left of RFA. I will say this one is a B plus. I personally I think the kid's locked in. I think that there is a very talented hockey player there. And I get that the results weren't in there. So you do bake in some of the risk with it only being 3 years. I feel like I would want to lock him in a bit longer term because I believe in the talent that much, but I can understand, prove it, right? And I will gladly double this contract next go around if you have earned it. But let's bake in some of the risk on both sides and we'll do it that way. So I think it's a really good contract. I'm at a point where I believe in the kid and I want him as a long-term part of the future. But you give yourself some wiggle room there. So it's still a good contract at 3 years at 3.78. Matt Coronado is up next. This one is a lengthy one at $6.5 million a season. It is year one of a 7-year deal for Matt Coronado. I give this one I'll say B plus on this one as well. I think the kid's a really good goal scorer. I think he has obviously shown that part of his game. And when you are looking at skills that could deteriorate over 7 years, like that shot's always going to be there, right? We're seeing that with Alex Ovechkin. Not that I think Coronado is going to be Ovechkin. Let's not clip this part. But for Coronado, that scoring touch is always going to be a thing, and that's going to age well with him. Also, he's going to be 29 at the end of this thing, so it's not like you're locking in Michael Backlund for 8 years or anything like that. This is a kid who has proven that he can do it at the NHL level, who has kind of grown through the ranks and shown his progression. 7 years, it just is a long time at 6.5 for a kid who has done it once. So that's why it's not just an absolute perfect home run. But I really like the deal. So I'm going to give a B plus for Matt Coronado's extension. We're at the forward groups here. So $4.38 million for 2 years with a modified no trade in the second year for Morgan Frost. I give that a B. A couple years for a guy who's 26 and is just kind of right around the fringes of maybe being a top 6 guy on your team. Like it makes sense. 4.38 is maybe a little bit more than I would want to pay given the question marks that surround him, but you also probably couldn't get away with paying him any less either. So like it makes sense. It doesn't feel like oh man, steal for the Flames or anything like that. It's just, it is a player that you think is probably going to be good, but if he's not in a couple of years, you have an out. So that makes sense, but it's a C plus. The trade stuff, like I I think this league hands those out way too quickly. And I think you're seeing like the Flames in a spot where maybe they've handed those out a bit too much with Kadri and with Coleman on those. And like an 8-team one, it's not going to kill you, but that feels a bit much. So C plus is what I will give for Frost. And then we get to Kevin Bahl. This one, again, locked in 5.35 for 6 years. I like this one. I will give it a B. Again, the trade protection on it seems a little silly to me, but that is a fundamental issue I have with how teams hand out contracts in the NHL. But I think he has, I don't know why that changed like that. 1 second. There we go. Sorry. I think he has shown that he has the type of game that is going to age very well and is just going to be a rock solid type of a guy and feels like the type of player that you win with at playoff time, right? So I like the contract. I like the player a lot. I will give it a B. I think it's just a solid contract for the Flames there. So